Hi guys, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery, and I'm located in Van.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Highland Heights, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk. Hi guys, I'm reporting to you from Northern Indiana, and I just wanted to let you know that this episode is going to be the second part of our interview with Link from Kentucky Mudworks. So if you haven't heard the first part, I would go back because it's very good. So go back and listen to last week before you listen to this week. And yeah, okay, bye.
I have a separate topic. If we're good to move to a different, I have a. It's more like Shopify kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
You said how you've got different businesses. You got the clay, you got the studio, you got the tools. Um, and I think you responded to me a while ago when I was asking about shop options, and I want to see your quote. Can I read the quote? You saw the quote that I put on there.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the quote was, I have 3 Shopify websites, all different sizes and across different Shopify plans. If y'all ever want to discuss it, sales range from 5K to 800K a year across the 3. Each level of Shopify plan has its pros and cons, but overall is far better than Squarespace. I used to have a Squarespace site and I didn't like it, but that was 6 years ago. And that was from you when I don't know what the context was, but we were asking and
Asked a question online about that, about like sales platforms.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like you mentioned Squarespace. How long were you on Squarespace, and maybe what were the like pros and cons of that platform when you were on it before getting to where you're at now?
It was fine. It was just the scalability was not there at the time. Shopify has the scalability that
Scalability in number of products or volume of orders, kind of, and fulfillment,
all
or
all of that. It was more, I think it appears to me that it was more of a, instead of every small business on the planet can use Squarespace, it was more of a, everybody can use Shopify and here's different echelons. And I don't know that Squarespace had different echelons. The
like where
Shopify,
you have more like complex systems of fulfilling orders, and you're not handling like one order at a time or something like that, or you have different facilities fulfilling orders, like that kind of
with Shop,
thing.
oh, it's like you have different features. So like here's an example. I have a little farm because I'm not busy enough. I grow a lot of garlic and like 400 or 500 pounds of garlic a year, and I sell it online as seed, like seed quality garlic. So if you want to plant garlic, you go on and you don't buy the stuff at the grocery store because it's been sprayed with an anti-sprouting agent, and it's probably from who knows where. Anyway, you can buy, high quality seed online and different flavor profiles, different varieties. Anyway, so I have this tiny little website that has like 20 products, and it's a Shopify site, and it's inexpensive, and you have, a short list of features, and you can turn it off. Like you can pause your store and still edit it, but you can't take orders. So you save that monthly fee during the winter when you're not growing anything, you know, or say you don't have any, you can do that. It allows you to do that, and you can still edit the store. Um, and then you can take that, if you get busier and you want more features, you can go to a plan. It's like, have you ever used QuickBooks? You know how QuickBooks
No,
has,
Becca has though.
yeah, it has like 25 versions, and it
Yeah.
depends on what you're in and the volume that you want and the detail you want and the control you want. Shopify is a lot like that. And I found that it integrates really well with QuickBooks and other platforms. And it's not just a point of sale. Like we just added the Shopify point of sale this year, and I'm real happy with it. I mean, I'm never 100% happy with any technology because I'm always slightly angry at it because it is what it is, and I didn't grow up with technology, so I'm like, can't we just write everything down and print everything? And then I realized that's not the world. So the point of sale is nice, and it's basically just an in-store reflection of what's on your website. So you can just do everything one time, and you don't have to do it in multiple places. So
Yeah.
and there's just different levels. Like we have the Shopify plan where you can have different catalogs. It's the plus plan, so that I can sell wholesale, and I can say I programmed in RD ceramics to get a certain price on clay. Every time you get rung up, it would pop up, and it's just in there, and you can't go to a certain plan. So it has scalability for more than just a one-person business, which I felt like Square was more of just like a small point of sale, small website thing at the time when I was looking for something that would allow me to grow.
So like with the you said the point of sale is a reflection of what is, I want to say you said the online as well. So does that mean the stock that somebody's buying off the website is pulled off the floor, or do you have it? Okay.
If you want to track the inventory, it allows you to track the inventory or not track it. You can
And
pre-order.
can you track them separately? Can you say like back of house inventory for like online, and then you've got like front of house, so you're not overselling?
Item. You'd have to make it a separate item. So you could say back stock mugs, showroom mugs, you know, so that when you sold a showroom mug, it would come out of the showroom stock. Or you could have mugs, and then you could have a variant that's showroom mugs and back stock mugs. But if that main item is available on your online store, somebody could buy a backstock mug. You can't stop that. So there are limitations.
And some of that's like how quick can you turn around orders, and you know, if you were to have to do that. But hopefully the stock would mark it as out of stock, and you wouldn't have like to mix, you know, 10 orders of some glaze, I guess, that you need to get out shortly.
Mm-hmm.
How does it work with 2 locations as well? Do you have to manage what's in what location, or do you have people going trips to Louisville and Lexington back and forth?
We have like a week that Louisville has a van, and they come and get what they need. Normally they do most of their orders for themselves, but there's some vendors that are far away, or the products that we make, they get made in Lexington and they just come and pick up what they need. But some vendors, we have to order a minimum, or it's cheaper if we order for post. Yeah, they come and get it.
Okay.
And then Shopify allows you to show the stock in each.
Okay. And are you doing that similarly with your distributors and everything like that? Like, is that handled through the same source, and you have invoicing through there?
Yeah, I invoice through Shopify and I bill through Shopify, but it's not accounting software, so I have to put everything into QuickBooks in order to get like an accurate picture of everything.
Okay.
And you know, there's nowhere for you to enter like your utility bill, you know, and your rent payment and things like that. That has to go into accounting software. I imagine in 10 years they're going to try to be an all-in-one thing. I would venture. I don't know. So.
Yeah, Becca, were you playing around with Shopify a little bit? I know you were kind of figuring some things out with platforms.
I mean, Washington Andrew uses Shopify, and it's good. He likes it, and I've always wanted to switch to Shopify, but it's never been like financially the right move. So, because it's a little bit more expensive, but I just canceled my website anyway, and I don't think you can do classes through Shopify, so I'm gonna do that through a different, like a total, because I'm gonna do classes from now on. So.
Like online classes. Yeah, I don't think.
Yes. So I think that I'm gonna go through a different site completely, but I was just selling so little anyway that it just didn't matter, you know.
Yeah, the online. I mean, the monthly payment. You're like, ugh, I'm not selling.
Yeah.
$30 or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it just made sense to stick with Square. Mm-hmm. Square Weebly. But it yeah. If I was gonna do an actual legit website, I'd do Shopify any day of the week. I've got too many friends that have it.
It's like an a la carte system where you it's like a pizza. It's like just the dough.
Yeah.
And then you get a certain number of toppings, but you can then just, there's a billion apps that you can buy, subscribe to, some free, some cheap, some that you just customize the functionality of your whole store. I mean, it's like, it is a rabbit hole you can just get lost in.
Yeah.
Do you all do your email marketing through Shopify as well?
We probably we've been using MailChimp, and
did she cut out there for a second? I think she said it's really expensive, but
yeah, I want to like tell the whole internet I think MailChimp's expensive, but it, for us, we didn't necessarily see the value because we just don't send enough emails. It's not that they aren't a great product. I think QuickBooks bought them, and I was unable to log in, and I was like, I gotta launch my Memorial Day sale. So I used the Shopify email interface, and it worked great. And it's essentially the same thing. And it was like $1.20, you know? I'm already paying Shopify. So I'm gonna cancel the MailChimp because it's like
$400 a month.
Yeah, they charge you on the number of subscribers of email addresses you have.
And then is there also a limit to how many email? Well, I guess you said you weren't sending it as frequently, so the number of emails sent is not affecting you in that aspect. It's just the quantity of contacts.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you all do, does it, because you do a lot of sales like during certain times of the year. So does it help with these are the sale items and like here's how we're going to organize which things are, does it make that easy to do?
Which part, using the Shopify email?
Well, I was thinking like building a sale inventory of sale, what's on sale, and then also like translating that to, I mean, I guess building the email is probably not super complex because it's just images with what the sale is, but like I guess handling what sales items need to be accounted for and make sure it's all working properly so that you don't mess something up because you miss a digit somewhere. You're like, okay,
It's all in one place. I found that it's easier. So when I put things on sale online, when I go to build the email, the price is already discounted. I don't have to, there was a lot more typing, and I had to upload images, and I'm like, they're already on my website. If I just put the product in, it probably an 8 time. So having it all one interface has been a lot easier.
Okay. Have you all like how do you all think about the sales? Because I mean I buy stuff through the sales almost every chance I get. What is your all's like philosophy on how often you do them? Like what you're gonna put on sale? Is that like carrying a lot of your year? Is people buying during those sales? And then people are just like, well, I need to get this product, so I'm gonna get it at full price when I need it.
Yeah. It's just our strategy is that we don't have a really great strategy right now. We are just now starting to work on marketing. But we just had an open house, and so we loaded up on inventory, and we sold a lot of it at the open house, but we had a lot left over, and there were a lot of people who couldn't make it, and it coincided with Memorial Day. So I was like, we'll just do a sale so that people who couldn't make it could get similar discounts, not as big as some of the ones where people came to the store. And it also helps us offload some inventory because generally summer is a little slower because all of you guys who make pots and sell them in the summer are out selling your wares. You're not necessarily buying supplies. You come back in the fall and go, I need to make stuff for Christmas. So there's an ebb and flow to our industry that, at least for our business, is these are times when you do a sale because you know that maybe the next month or two is going to be a little slower. So you just offload some inventory so you're not sitting on a bunch of cash, and you get fresh in your stock. You never want to be letting your stock get old, because one day people are like, this clay's hard, and you're like, crap, because it's literally like either it's donated or it's dumpster, or
Yeah. I didn't really think about that you don't want to keep so much clay that's already mixed up in your warehouse. You're like, oh, we've got it ready when it go, but like maybe it can get kind of.
It's got to turn. So like if you see like flat rate sale, $3 off flat rates, you're like, that's a good price, and that's because we've got a lot of clay, and we want to, the fall's coming, and we just want to move our inventory and just generate sales and get products out. So
is that the same with the distributors as well, or do they know that that's the ebb and flow, so they order during the summer to make sure that they're stocked for the fall when people do come in to buy the clays and the tools and all that?
I don't know. They order whenever they need to stock their store, but I would say that a lot of our customers will, in July, everybody's like, oh my God, I need so much more than I needed a month ago. So we usually spend the summer, most everybody at work will take some time off in the summer. And so we do production does kind of slow a little bit, and then we just come back and we make a lot for the fall, for the late summer and the fall.
Yeah, that's like, in your business is well, in one aspect, I would suspect that the tools are like a through line that kind of can help you with those ebbs and flows of the glazing and the clay.
Yeah, consistent. And we have like an annual second sale on the Dirty Girl site because, we get come in and we're like, this has a chip in it. It's perfectly good, fat, but it's torn. I'd pay $2 less. So, we just have a
That's
whole
great.
room.
I love the second sale.
Yeah.
I need to take advantage of this.
Yeah. And it's just like, well, this bat doesn't really fit, but I'll sell it at a huge discount and you can sand it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there are out there who are like, I'll pay 30% off and I'm happy to sand my inserts,
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. In a way, I use them to stock up on materials. So I'm like, I've got all this satin black glaze. I got all this Inferno red before it went off the market. I'm like, I got this stocked. Mm-hmm. I'm good in case something happens. I don't know. I'm like seeing some of these materials, and I'm like, I got the money to spend on it. Like, take advantage of it.
Yeah. If you can do that, do it.
Worst case scenario is I get tired of the glaze and I got to sell it off. But that's all right. Mm-hmm. So, what do you all are there new things on the horizon for this year? We're in May right now, and NCECA just happened. Well, not just happened, it's 2 months ago, but like, are there things on your all's horizon of, some things you heard at NCECA or something that you're looking forward to throughout the year?
Oh my God. I have so many projects that like. There was a period of time where my staff was like, if you make another clay, we're all going to leave. Okay, I promise. No more ideas. No more, And we ordered another clay machine in like 2021, and it showed up in 2023, and it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't. Did you hear me? It didn't work. And closed his business, and my machine didn't work. So my husband and I spent 3.5 months rewiring. Like, he rewired, like nothing was wired correctly, like literally didn't turn on, kind of thing. Things scraped things that shouldn't be scraping. Things weren't mounted level. Things weren't.
Their quality assurance team was shit, it sounded like. I said their quality assurance team sounded like shit.
Yeah. I like the guy. He did reimburse me for some things, and I have one of his machines, and I liked it enough, and I could afford it, that I bought another one, but it wasn't the greatest experience of my life. And so it took about 3.5 to 4 months to get my 6-digit investment actually moving. And the whole time I've got dealers who are like, I need 5 pallets of brown bear. I'm like, I'm in white clay. And it was just, it was so difficult. And so
Because right now
Exactly.
you did at that point you just have one massive machine that you make how many pounds at a time, or how many, maybe in pallets is a better way to, like.
We're tiny. I mean, what standard makes in a day, we make in like a week. So they also have different size machines, different technology. There's bigger machines that can handle bigger volume and more staff. Um, I don't know. Each machine is maybe 3 pallets a day. So I mean, we have a system where nobody's supposed to lift more than X pounds, and we divide it over because we all kind of want to be able to stand up, for the
Right.
rest of our life. And
Uh-huh.
I bought a vacuum lifter, which I haven't gotten installed yet, but the kind of thing where you and then the 50-pounder coming off the line, that person doesn't have to actually, they just have to, the weight is used by the vacuum lifter. I don't know if you saw the extremely cool video from East Fork recently.
I think I did. I don't remember what were they picking up with it? Was it bags of material?
They were lifting a pug
Oh,
with
right,
it
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
out of a I bought the exact same brand lifter, but mine's designed to lift different suction cup, etc. To lift a box. And so when we have that will span the two machines, and then, you know, so I try to invest in machines that make it less brutal,
Yeah, because otherwise
to
manually loading a pallet with 50-pound boxes is not so, you know,
yeah.
sounds like a young
Some
man's
people,
game, but
hey man, I don't mind it. Let's do it. And some people are like, oh, I can't do it. It's just different people want to do different jobs. So, but that's definitely something I could purchase that could make life a lot easier. So,
yeah.
and better.
And like
So,
transitioning from a white clay body to a brown bear, like,
mhm.
I'm sure there's some cleaning process that goes into that. Yeah, I'm sure the turnaround like it's not like probably next week. You probably have an order of operations of which clay bodies you do in what order so that it makes the most sense.
Yeah, we do. We break down the machine a certain number of times a year and empty it completely, power wash it, inspect it, replace parts. Some companies don't do that. Some people, they just purge and sell the purge. They purge enough that they just can start over, I guess. I mean, I ask questions. Like sometimes I'll get factory tours, which I love because I'm like a factory nerd. I love machines and I love production. And some companies don't. They just they have a different way of purging their machine. And for us, our machine, it has corners. It has like 90-degree angle corners, and clay just builds up in there. And that brown bear, man, you just can't get that shit off without, you got to power wash it. So we and I also, I'm real big into maintenance, preventive. I got like a whole parts room with backup parts because I don't want to be down, because then I have to find something for my people to do. I'm not necessarily the kind of person who's like, well, you got to go home, no paycheck. you know that's why I try to cross train people. And so, and I don't want to be, oh my God, this giant part broke and it costs you $2,500 and you're down for. I'm seeing some things there behind you, Becca.
Yeah, is it storming there?
Yeah. Let's
Yes,
see.
just keep talking. I'm going to close the window.
Okay. And so yeah, we power wash it and take it apart to the micron, and we go in there with dental tools. I mean, legitimately.
Wow.
Yeah. And we take off parts, and things wear. And I'll look at a part and I'll go, that nut is now round. It's now rounded over. We have to replace it. So
Right.
we'll just, and, I think it's partly like the traumatic experience of having a play machine that didn't work. That I was just like everything's gotta be in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, your whole business is, I mean, a big chunk of your business is relying on that machine to work. So,
Exactly. And having two machines is great now because if something catastrophic happens with one, knock on wood, then we have another. But we use one for a light line and dark line, so
okay.
that we can be running vastly different products at the same time, which I think.
And then you all have
Just so
sold
you
some of
know,
the discounted work for you saw, or some of the discounted clay that's like probably
Yeah.
a transition clay that's like, hey, this was you call it, I think you might call it a test batch or something like that.
Or test batch. We've had a lot of test batches in the last couple of years. Hey, this is Tony Beaver with 4 different ingredients that we were trying out, and we wanted to make it in the giant machine so that we could replicate it. It's the exact end product versus making a tiny little amount.
Just so you know, speaking of like machinery, How It's Made is now all 24 seasons are on HBO Max. I just wanted to let you know. It's
I watched How It's Made back in the day. Loved it.
Years. I would get up in the morning. I used to bake bread at this bakery, and How It's Made was on when I was getting ready for work. And oh my God, I love that show. And the guy he's just so measured in the way he talks. He's a little quiet.
I've been using it to fall asleep.
Oh, it's so great. So great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go on there.
I'm trying to remember the name of the candy How It's Made that was on.
Oh, that was my favorite.
What was it? It's called, I want to say Smacked or something. I don't think it's called that. It's called gosh, what was it? Do you know? It's like Snacked or
Made?
It was like, it's basically like the How It's Made, but it was how they make candy. It wasn't under the same name, but it was
Oh.
It had Mark Summers as the narrator or the host.
It was filmed in Denver.
Oh gosh, what was it? TV show. Here we go. Unwrapped. It was on Food Network.
And they would go. My favorite episode was with the Dum Dums and how they their secret. You know how they have like the mystery flavor. That is the mix. That's like when they're going from one flavor to the next flavor. That's their mystery flavor.
Oh, and then they just don't add the coloring to it, or they add some coloring that makes it look, that clear whitish.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. Unwrapped.
Unwrapped, yeah, it was great. I used to love watching that one.
I've always wanted to work in a fucking manufacturing facility.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So when you're thinking through like what you need of somebody that's staff for that kind of atmosphere, like how do you go about finding those people?
I have good mind.
So it's a lot of referrals and hey, this is what I'm like, because a lot of it, I'm guessing you're not just filling a list of responsibilities on on a sheet. It's a lot of intangibles that you don't exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we put a lot of things on Indeed, and some people, when we describe the clay company and the small business atmosphere, some people are like, no, I want to work for Toyota. You know what I mean? And some people, gravitate towards the environment and, just do a lot of interviews. I've been very fortunate. I've got a lot of long time people, 8 years, 9 years, 6 years. Most of my staff is 2 years. 2 years to.
Is she cut out for you, Becca?
Yeah.
Okay, your audio cut out there. You said some of your staff is 2 years, and then I missed what you said after that.
Oh, we've got staff that's from 2 years to 10 years that's been with us. So we try to retain people. And,
Yeah, I think a lot of that's like a testament to besides just the benefits, it's like the atmosphere, it's the management, it's the feeling like you're doing something that is like you're a valuable asset as well as you're fulfilled in what you're doing. Like there's so many things that, I mean, I've worked for a corporation for a long time, so like you kind of feel what it's like and see like how your piece fits into the larger picture and kind of get a feeling for how management works and how they make decisions. And a lot of the business side, but it's also like there's a lot less interpersonal.
Right. A lot less. Yeah. Which, I mean, some people like that. Some people don't want you who they are and don't want you to know anything about their life, and they want to come to work and then go home. And they thrive in a different kind of atmosphere, So.
Yeah. All right, Becca. I'm guessing that thing is it storming so bad it's like a little risky on the connection there?
I think so. Yeah, that's why I just turned my video off, because it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know what is going on with Indiana right now, but there has been a shit ton of storms recently.
Yeah, my parents' tree got blasted in Louisville over the weekend.
Yeah, we lost power for a couple hours on what was it, Sunday?
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, there were some bad storms. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I just recently got my tomatoes in. I'm like, it's almost June. What is happening to the world? And when I can't get tomatoes in early May, because every time I go to do it, it's a deluge,
Yeah.
No.
My roof leaks in the van. And because it's been leaking for a while. I just never really fixed it because I was in Utah. It doesn't rain in Utah. And so like, and so it leaked pretty significantly a couple days ago. And then 2 nights ago, it fucking downpoured. And it was like, oh my God, so much rain. And it didn't leak.
Do you have like a vent in the center? Is that why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was me. It was the caulking. I just didn't caulk it the best. So, so it just needs to like spray it with that spray stuff. But, and I'm just like, God damn it. I'm probably going to walk into puddles in there now.
You need some of that Flex Seal that you can seal up a bottom of a boat with.
I know. I got a spray can, but we'll see if it works.
I hope it's this way. I hope it goes north. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. Fucking Lexington and Louisville got fucking smashed the other day.
Yeah.
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 Link, there was a listener question. I think I put it on the list, but I feel like it kind of overlaps, and you might have some insights to answer some of what it's from I want to say Jello Designs. It's JELO.designs on Instagram. And her question was, how do you stay informed about shortages, new technologies, etc.? Aside from attending in Sika, what magazines do you subscribe to? What organizations do you feel are valuable to invest in? For me, I get ICANN periodicals, but they don't cover stuff as much as I'd like sometimes. For example, why did Custer Feldspar mine shut down so suddenly? What are the benefits of using G200 EU versus Mojave chemically? I don't need an answer to that specific question, but more of an idea of where that conversation may be taking place.
Nowhere that I'm getting informed, unfortunately. I mean, I get, there's American Ceramic Society is more of like the technical side. They send out an email like every day, but it's like what's technical ceramics and like aerospace but you get, every 20th email, you'll be like, oh, wow, there's an article on the lithium industry,
Are they like an independent source, or what is their business?
They're literally like the American Ceramic Society. It's a big society that host a big vendor fair, like the people who make machines that I buy and the people who make like industrial sifters and diamond pad suppliers and ferro frit. That's there in Sika.
Okay.
They have a couple times a year, and it's put on by the American Ceramic Society. And they have a website, and you can subscribe to their emails. They're free. And there's so much information on there. There's tons, but you will get stuck in a lot of things that may be above your pay grade, a lot above, you know what I mean? Above my pay grade. Like nano ceramics and things like that.
Wow.
Paint and kaolins and stuff like that. But as far as like where you go to hear about Custer getting shut off, you don't. There's no, unfortunately, we're kind of like a sub-microscopic nano particle on the, you know what I mean, on the consumption scale. We all fall under what I call hobby ceramics, and what suppliers for, like, you know, Emrys that owns Graulich and G200 and, you know, Kentucky Tennessee Clay. We're in the hobby industry ceramics, even though professional potters are doing it in schools and people like that who are professionals are buying it. It's not technical ceramics like aerospace or industrial ceramics, which is toilets and sinks. So
Right.
we get, because we really just use a real select number of ingredients because we're in the plastic side of the world. You know, all your toilets and sinks are slip cast, so they don't really use the plasticizers that we do. You know what I mean? Or want to throw clays or jigger clay bodies and things like that. So, but I like their emails, and they send out a magazine for free. I think Glazy is an amazing resource. Have you been to glazy.org?
I have. I don't go there very often because I'm just not making glazes, and I'm not
Yeah.
really looking at the. But there is a lot of, I want to say, blog posts, but there's articles that are, that's, I mean, as far as I know, is it one part, or maybe I'm confusing with Digital Fire, but like
Digital.
these aren't huge entities that are like running these.
No, I think glazy.org, I don't know this, but I feel like it was started by John Britt, and it's supposed to be like an open source information database, and people can post articles. There's a lot of great information on Glazy. And Digital Fire is literally one of the greatest things on the planet. Tony Hansen, it's like
Facts.
a library. It's literally, you could just go on Digital Fire and you put in Custer, and it's like an analysis and history and information and, you know, technical specs, and any kaolin you're interested in that might be in the database, there's going to be information, you know, and it's wonderful, Digital Fire. And he's got a billion articles on like Gersley. You could just put Gersley in, and there's probably 5 articles. How does it work in a blue glaze? And I mean, Digital Fire is kind of my go-to database resource. If I'm like, man, I can't figure this out. What's going on? Or, ooh, I've heard of this kaolin, I should look into this. I go to Digital Fire first, and then if I'm interested in it, I might go to the manufacturer and say, can I get a sample? You know, that kind of thing.
And a lot of this information, I would suspect, is kind of timeless in a way. Like, you know, the same information holds true 40 years ago as it does today. So it's like, you know, there might not be a repeat of the exact same article coming out to talk about how the, you know, I mean, maybe there's differences in, hey, most people were firing to cone 10 X number of years ago, and people are more mid-range now. So there's new things that are more relevant these days. But
well, what's cool about Digital Fire is things do change as far as what the material, because they're dealing with mined materials, and so from one side of the mine to the next, you can have a shift in percentages of things, and so there might be a big update. Hey, everybody, has everybody noticed that Brit blah 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 is really different? Well, Tony Hansen usually will get a sample of it, and he'll do a detailed analysis and compare it to historical data, and he'll say, well, I found this. So it's really pretty cool. My glaze tech noticed that because like when we get a truckload of any raw material, we get a COA, a certificate of analysis, which is that lot number specifically for that batch that I purchased. Here is an analysis of the chemical composition of that lot. So we had this much potassium, this much sodium, this much blah, 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 you know what I mean? And on down the line. And that just shows that it's within these specs. And so if that drifts vastly, or you get a different result, you know, then you can contact the manufacturer if you're a company like me. But Tony Hansen does that kind of on the behalf of the consumer. In a lot
Right.
of
There's just so much knowledge there. And
there is. Yeah. And I think CMW is a huge, awesome resource, you know.
right. And then for the most part, like a lot of this information is just free and out there. It's not, I mean, I think there's like a level of digital fire that you can pay for.
Insight. You want to do your own calculations, you just pay it's like $60 for like 3 years, and it's a database, and you log in and you can put all your recipes in there. And if you're like, well, I can't get lithium anymore, or it's too much, and you can do side-by-side comparisons. How do I do this? And then it literally flows and it shows you the exact chemistry and how this shift. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing. Yeah. And so he's always updating things and adding new materials. And I mean, it's priceless. I think he works for Plainsman Clay in Alberta, Canada. And I think he basically tests every truckload of everything that comes in. I think Plainsman also owns several of their own mines. So I think he's in charge of testing all of that. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's definitely not like just a pet project. Like that's a huge undertaking.
You can deep dive. It's amazing. Like, I grew up on Clay and Glazes for the Potter by Daniel Rhodes, you know, and then a couple of other textbooks. And then textbooks, as you know, are just kind of not a thing that much anymore. It's like an online situation. I feel like I recently heard a podcast where somebody was asking what textbook go
for
to.
Sake.
It was okay. Yeah, I thought so. And I was like driving, so I couldn't write it down because I'm always looking for textbooks and books. And, you know, like I bought a book on rheology, which is like the science of suspension and viscosity.
Oh, wow.
For nerd garbage. It's great. But the things like that it's not like you're going to walk into Barnes and Noble and like go to the rheology section, you know, so.
Right. Every now and then I go into the section to just see what pottery books if I happen to be in a store, and I'm like, it's so hard to find. Like, and like I'll be lucky if I stumble upon like a 500 teapots or something like that. I'm like shocked.
Right. Yeah. It's really sad. We're renovating our house, like down to the studs level, new windows. It's a lot. And I had to pack up I have this like almost floor to ceiling bookcase. And I had to pack up a bunch of books. And I had like, you know, 3 shelves for ceramics and 4 shelves for farming and, you know, a shelf for other things I used to study. And I was just holding this book and I was like, I haven't picked this book up in like 10 years. And like, I can't buy this book. It never occurred to me that when I bought that book, I wouldn't be able to buy it or I'd pay $180 for it. Or, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's crazy. So.
But yeah, and a lot of that is like, you know, like there's 500 different teapots in this book. Like there's so much to learn, and it's like I don't know what I'm going to be interested in 10 years from now. I'm like, okay, I'm never going to make a teapot or whatever, but it's like you don't know.
Yeah.
Or it's just some technique that's done on this one teapot that you want to do on your cups or something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just so much options. Yeah, I think their takeaway when they were talking about was, you know, there's so many online resources and a lot of books these days are so specific.
Yeah.
That it's like hand building with slabs or something. Like there's a book about that, or mastering wheel throwing. It's so specific to one thing. It's not a broad book.
Mm-hmm.
That's not like Pottery Basic 101.
Right. I think maybe YouTube and pottery classes have supplanted that potentially. And people just don't buy books like they used to, you know?
Yeah. I don't want to get clay on the books. It's like, I got it.
I know. I do a lot of cooking and baking. And I realized that in moving all my cookbooks out, I was like, I should write my favorite recipes down and like laminate them so that I don't have to get them. Because I'm like, I can't, this book is out of print. You know, I just.
Right.
That's one of those things younger generations didn't.
Hey everybody. So we're taking a break from the episode today to talk about the newest plug-and-fire kiln from L&L. It is a Cone 10 kiln and it runs on 120 volts. So you can plug this into any outlet. It's truly a plug-in anywhere kiln. We're looking forward to trying it out ourselves. It has all the greatest and best things about L&L that you can expect. So it's got the Genesis controller with the touchscreen, all that good stuff. It's got the element channels, so you know the ceramic things that hold in your elements so that they don't fall out. You don't have to worry about pins and all that good stuff. It's got a thermocouple, the stainless steel case, and it's ready to go when you get it. So you can plug that into any 120 volt outlet. And the great thing about the power usage is it only runs on 12.5 amps. So it cannot trip a 15 amp breaker. So you can truly plug it into any outlet you're ready to plug it into, not worry about tripping a breaker. I've done that a time or two with my kiln, and you don't have to worry about that. So if you want to check out the specs for this kiln, the pricing, all that good stuff, you can go to hotkilns.com and see all the details. Thanks, everybody, and back to the episode.
It's not like devastating to them.
Yeah. As much as I could like get off my phone a little bit or off my computer, but I mean, it is convenient for like writing notes and getting stuff quick, but the information is just, there's so much. You can just stay on the computer for 24 hours a day and never leave.
They want you to.
Do you know what book I recently got? Was a it's The Tale of the Jawbone, I think. I don't know what the title is.
The Tale of
but
the what?
Jawbone. Yeah. Or something like that. Or somebody's jawbone. And it's a mystery, and it was printed in 1930 something, 1920s, somewhere in there. And every single page is in the wrong order. So in the beginning of the book, so in the beginning, and the book is made to be ripped out. So every page is only one-sided. And in the beginning of the book, it has numbers and then lines under it of what page should go where. And
does it have page numbers on it though?
Yeah, there's numbers on the pages, but like it basically says like, oh, page number 1 should actually be this page. And so it goes through every single page, and it's only been solved 5 times that they like know of, and it's supposedly the hardest mystery to solve. And I bought it, and I started reading it, and I was like, I don't know if I'm prepared for this.
My reading comprehension is so terrible. I would forget what I just read, and then I would be like, what am I'm trying to find the next page. Like, what?
I'm not very familiar. I tend to read things multiple times.
Yeah.
So, wow.
That sounds like a terrible book.
It's a puzzle, right?
Yeah, it's a puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you have to like rip them all out and like set them out and then try to like. Yeah.
It's called Cain's Jawbone.
Cain, like Cain?
Yep, Cain, like the Bible Cain.
Cain's Jawbone.
It's only $8 on Amazon.
So then it was printed in a certain order, or they print it in different order, each one.
No, it's printed in a certain order now, but it's not in order.
Oh. I'm sure there's resources now that would just be like, here's how you do it, but that's not fun, I guess.
No, I'm pretty sure that I saw a video and it said that like they've kept it from being on the internet, like somehow.
How do they keep that from being on the internet?
Well, only 5 people have solved it.
Oh, okay. They just choose not to share. I mean, that sounds like something to be pretty proud of.
It's like Link's glaze recipes.
Tying it back. I like that. All right, Becca, do you have any last question or funny question? I don't know. Do you got something you want to ask Link before we depart today?
I did have a funny question, but I forgot it.
I have a fun one if you want to think about it.
Okay, I'll think.
Is there okay? So I'm getting more into Cone 6 soda. I feel like I kind of talked to you about this, but if people want to know, is there a clay body or a glaze that you think is like a shining like the exactly what you would want people to experience in like a mid-range soda firing?
What are you looking for? Are you looking for flash? Are you looking for dark, like people like chocolate brown? And what are you looking for? The body itself.
I like the flashing, but I also like just solid glazes on it that are just accented a little bit with the soda.
Well, you know the tried and true what's it called? Salt white. It's shiny at Cone 6 because it's like 80% Nef-Si. Yeah.
Salt white, that's a glaze?
Yeah. Salt white, salt yellow. It's basically like Nef-Si and 2 or 3 other things.
Salt white. I love it. I love a Shino as well. So
it's open source that someone put on the internet because they wanted to. And there's a salt yellow is just salt white with a little bit of I think salt white has like maybe I can't remember in it to make it whiter. And we did a Cone 6 wood soda in my kiln. We used our kind of cramp down your throat, but I can only speak to that. The frosted periwinkle was dope because it's like a microcrystalline.
Yeah.
And so any of the Glacier series, frosted periwinkle in particular was pretty.
I'm gonna tell you, the Inferno Red looks really good. I got a pot on this table right here that I feel like I need to mute, and I'll show you real quick.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Yeah. Tony Beaver. Oh wait, he took his buds off.
All right, so this is the Inferno Red.
Shut up. That's
with
dope. Photo close up. So what's the blue on top?
That's the soda.
Oh right.
And then this is a Rutile white on the inside. It's a glaze.
Oh my god, that's gorgeous.
So it goes from a copper to kind of like a light yellow to a gray on the top where the soda is. And then here's one that's just Inferno Red on the outside as well.
Did it run a bunch or no?
No.
Oh, sweet.
It was good.
Yeah. That's not a runny glaze.
And then that's the soda. And then it's a little more, you can see a little bit of microcrystals on that side.
Yeah.
A little more matte down here at the bottom.
It plays really well with others. It really does.
Yeah, so the Inferno Red, I was definitely experimenting a lot with that one in the last soda firing. So
Tony Beaver is a beautiful clay body in reduction wood soda. It flashes well. It's like, traditional stoneware that's like buff at Cone 6 and not that, you know what I mean? It's like that person.
Yeah, these are both Iceman, but
oh yeah.
But I got the White Bear because there was somebody that fired with us that had White Bear and it looked great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, White Bear is very heavy kaolin clay, whereas Iceman is more on the ball clay spectrum, so you're gonna get two different looks, even though they're both white clay. But Tony Beaver is got some just like good traditional stoneware stuff in it that does a nice, good, warm, your warm browns, flashes, takes soda really well. But then your glazes also don't get dingy.
Yeah. Okay. That was my fun question.
Yeah.
Okay, so my fun question is, what's your least favorite type of food?
Ooh.
Like something like either an ingredient or like for me it's mustard. Fucking hate mustard. But I know a lot of people love mustard. I don't know what to tell you, but
I hate mustard too.
Really?
I don't like mustard and I don't like pickles or anything like that.
I your podcast. I can't. You don't like pickles?
No.
Yeah, isn't he insane?
Dude, I live for kosher extra garlicky pickles. I make like 25, 30 gallons a year, and I sell them at the farmer's market because I grow all this garlic. So I put extra garlic in there. Oh my God. I know your face, Becca. When you're traveling, when I have a batch ready, I'll let you know because they're good for like 6 months. You got to come down and you got to get some. They're really.
Do you like bread and butter pickles?
Not so much. A little bit. They gotta be real good. If they're like just sugary, there gotta be a lot of onion in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, my husband loves bread and butter, and I'm like, it's real sugary. Cause like I'm gonna eat the whole jar. I'm all in. When I open a jar of pickles, it's like I'm like in the mood for a pickle, and I'll eat a couple of slices or one pickle, and then I'll be like, by the end of the day, shit is gone. I love, and then my blood pressure is like, what are you doing? You're eating, 80 gallons of sodium. But they're so good. I like a refrigerator. We're talking about refrigerator pickles that are real crunchy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever had a pickle and peanut butter sandwich?
I can't speak
Try it one day.
herbal, but I don't like bananas. My husband loves the banana and peanut butter, and I don't.
Oh, yeah. My friend, Merritt grew up eating pickle and peanut butter sandwiches, and it was like a treat for them, growing up poor, and like, she made us try it, and we were all like, what? Like,
sorry. What? Yeah. I don't like capers. I can't stand capers.
Ooh, capers. That's a good answer.
And I don't like smoked salmon. They kind of go together.
Oh.
Yeah. I really like most genres of food. I really do. Trying to think of something. I don't like blue food. My staff is going to laugh when they listen to this.
Blue food?
They're like blueberries. I'm like, they're purple. They're purple. I don't know. There's something that creeps me out about blue food. Like
it just doesn't look like it should be edible.
It doesn't come out blue. Like, where's the blue hanging out inside of your body?
Yeah.
But like,
where does the blue go?
Blue M&M's trash. I just don't like blue candy. I don't like blue food. Blue is one of my favorite colors. Of course, my studio's blue. I'm wearing blue. I don't know. It just doesn't seem natural.
Heard something that said blue, like wearing blue is like a calming, so it's just kind of like chill. Maybe that's why I have tons of blue stuff, and like blue shirt, I'm always gonna go for a blue shirt.
Yeah. The older I get, the less I like bananas. I've gotten real weird about I like sweets less and less. And
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah, probably. But like the minute a banana has one speck of brown, I'm like, trash. And so I'll buy like hard as a rock at the grocery, and my husband's like, what is this garbage?
Yeah, I'm like, right. My wife loves them green.
But I'll be able to eat it. It has to have green on it. It has to be crispy. I think it's the sugar.
Probably.
Sugar. When it turns too fermented, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, I do have a fun little story that we can end it out with, and that is the last time I was at Kentucky Mudworks. I was picking up, I think I was with Deanna, my friend Deanna, and I was picking up something for my friend Sarah. And we had to stay at Deech's house. We had to stay at Ryan's parents' house. And we show up at the shop in Louisville, and I let Lloyd out, my cat, and he got loose in the shop.
Oh my God.
And so I had to chase him around the back of the store to get him. And your employees were like, this is the best.
Well, luckily it wasn't Lexington, because that's 30,000 square feet. He'd be lost.
Yeah. No, it was a much smaller space, but he had a good time.
Yeah, he'd have a field day. He'd jump up on a pallet of clay or something and just chill there. Up on the top, pallets on pallets of clay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A hot kiln. I guess they're smart enough to know that jump on a hot kiln.
He's grown up around kilns. I think he's good enough for that. But
I have a question for you guys. What's your favorite food?
Not a meal, just a food, period.
Well, I mean, you can have genres like Indian food, pizza, Italian food, whatever. But do you have
right.
a thing that you really, really love?
Right now, my like hyper focused food is spaghetti.
Red sauce or no?
Red sauce. Spaghetti with red sauce. And it can't be like rigatoni with red sauce. It's got to be spaghetti noodles with red sauce. And I love Italian meatballs, like Italian pork meatballs.
Garlic.
Yeah.
Real garlic.
Yeah. With the shitty Kraft cheese.
That you can just, I'm in touch with that. I'm like a cheese foodie, but there's something about.
She left.
She left us. Did her thing die?
I don't know. Oh no. The horror. Oh wait, she's back.
Oh, she's back.
Is she back?
Maybe joined, left. Oh, she's back.
Like my phone was like, I'm sorry, we're union, we're done.
We're union.
Sorry. Done. It's time to clock out.
But anyway, there's something about that Kraft cheese that just like gives you that nostalgia that is just like, it's so good.
And you can like unscrew the top and dump a lot.
And dump it. Yes.
I'm a heavy on the cheese on the pasta person.
Yeah, and also the trick for me to make it like, I think this is when I really started loving spaghetti, was when you mix in the red sauce, you add butter to the red sauce, and that makes it like slurpy. You know, like when you like slurp the noodles up.
That sounds really
good. Butter after the red sauce is the key. That's when I started really loving
pasty
spaghetti.
And sticky, sort of.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
It makes it creamy.
Olive oil. Like if you dump more olive oil on it, that would separate out. So the butter.
It's not the same.
Very cool.
So that's my answer.
My answer. I don't eat it all the time, but I feel like I would always be willing to eat it. Is like a Thai chicken fried rice.
That sounds fancy.
Yeah.
And I can like adjust the spicy level. I haven't had it in a while, but it's like, or I mean, I feel like I always go to is like al pastor tacos. That's pretty damn good.
I'm surprised he didn't say chili.
Crispy or soft?
They're soft. It's from like a Mexican place up here. Becca's had them. I don't know if you've had have you had the al pastor tacos?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good. It's just the onions and cilantro. Classic. Really good. Always get that with like elote. Get that with elote and usually a spiky strawberry margarita, frozen margarita.
I'd like to mention that I am not like a picky eater either like anymore. I used to be, but I love everything. I love all the food, but that's the one right now. What about you? What's your favorite?
I mean, I go through phases, like everybody.
Yeah.
I love Indian food.
I love Indian food. Oh my God.
Love it. It's like adult baby food, just the comfort. It's like a comfort level. Just everything is so good and the flavors are so unique and amazing. And the naan bread is like a religion. It's amazing.
Truly. Our friend is from India, and she went with me to the Indian grocery store, and I bought the tin, and I have all the spices.
Spices that we've never heard of. Garam masala, za'atar.
Garam masala, yeah. Like, I haven't cooked with it yet because I'm scared. But I'm gonna start.
Yeah.
I'm curious how the seasoning's gonna go, because I feel like you've said before that you can never over season. And
it's like so many seasoning. It's really good. Like I also love kimchi. I'm a huge kimchi fan.
Ryan would hate kimchi.
That's another vinegary. No.
Oh, pickled. Yeah, pickled business. Yeah. I like pickled stuff, like pickled. It's the only way you can get me to eat okra. I do not like okra.
love pickled okra. I love pickled okra.
Okra is allowed, but other forms of okra are not a consumable product.
Is that like do you think the vinegary stuff, is that like a taste thing? Like it's you're either a love it, hate it. Is it one of those things? Because I'm very into sweets. I'm a very sweet tooth person, but I'm like, because I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, is mustard and vinegary like in that realm of
either at all, like anything pickled? They're like, no. I'm like, and because I'll make stuff and I'll bring it in. I'm like, I made stuff, and they're like, I'm because I'm like, damn, I forgot you don't like pickles or anything pickled.
I accidentally ate a carrot that was pickled. You can't tell the difference because it's orange. So I'm like, okay, I don't want that cauliflower because I see it's a different color. But I ate the carrot, and when you don't expect it to be pickled and it's pickled, you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
But I gotta finish this.
Pickled beets. Oh my fucking goodness.
Love. Sweet or no sweet? Sugary or no sugar?
I'm a no spice for pickles.
Yeah.
I don't like the cloves and shit. I don't want that shit in my pickled beets. But I think I do. Oh, it's been a minute since I pickled beets, but I want to say I did 1 to 2, like 1 sugar, 2 water vinegar.
I like them both.
Yeah.
Like you can get in a can, sweet, with sugar and no sugar. Both.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite body that you guys have a favorite clay body that you're like in love with right now? Doesn't have to be Mudworks, obviously.
I only use 2 clay, but I mean, I feel like Becca's had the most. I use Laguna 608 and I use Iceman. Iceman was being an asshole the last couple years when it's in transition. So, but I figured out a little bit. But I really do like the 608. Like, I feel like it's the most flexible. I can throw it as long as it's soft enough. I don't mind the grit. Like, I feel like that one is just having the specs just adds another layer to the glaze and interest level that's not just a blank canvas.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Iceman's good if you're glazing. If your feature is glaze.
Yeah.
It's a good canvas. Yeah. I mean, anyway. Yeah.
I recently I've been in Utah, so obviously I couldn't get your clay, which would be my preference. But I prefer Aardvark over Laguna because they are softer.
Softer, yeah. I go to their open house every year as Dirty Girls Tools, and I use their clay, and it was kind of luxuriously soft. One bag I had was a little soft, but it was soft. It was nice.
Yeah, so the clay that I love the most, but have the most like with is Terra Red because it's got a 6% absorption rate, and so I don't know. I don't know how to proceed.
That's an aardvark as well, right?
It's an aardvark clay, but it's so amazing. It's like amazingly red. It flashes black. It like and it's so soft. And so I ended up putting like one of those concrete sealers, like a food safe concrete sealer on it. But I don't know. I've never used What?
Is it a cone 10 that you're using at cone 6? Or is it a cone 6 that just has a 6% absorption?
Yeah, it's just a terracotta. Yeah. So, but I think I want to try. I haven't tried Mulholland, and I'd like to.
I got a box of Mulholland.
Mulholland's awesome, but
or
Elkhorn
2 boxes, I can't remember. But I was going to try it for the soda kiln to see.
Wait, what'd you say? Mulholland's awesome, but what?
Elkhorn Red is a new one that's like Mulholland offspring.
Ooh.
It's really nice. It's nice. It throws really well. So does Mulholland. But Elkhorn has a little better absorption, and it's more in the vibrant brick red, whereas Mulholland is in the orange red family, color-wise.
Yeah.
And I think Elkhorn better. I think it's like
I'm really enjoying like the red clay look on the glazing end of things. So But yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always thought the
Uh,
look of like a Mulholland Sheltui was like such a nice color. It just
Mhm.
probably, I don't know if it's just the glazes I use, but it can limit your glaze palette. But
Yeah,
the ones that do look good on it look really fucking good on it. So
yeah. They like
yeah.
the darker you go, you need to have something with opacifier, or your glaze just disappears on a dark
Right.
can. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that was one of the
As
things.
far
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that that was one of the things that when I was making clay bodies, I everything at Cone 6 was like white or buff, maybe some speckles. You know, we're talking like 10, 15 years ago. And everybody was doing Cone 10. And it's been obviously shifting strongly to 6. And everybody was just covering everything with glaze. And I was like, but I need some beautiful clay. I need the
Yeah.
clay to be beautiful. And so I like it when you can have a clay body that you don't have to glaze the whole thing, maybe. Or if you do, it
Yeah.
glaze. I love that clay glaze interaction.
I'm still waiting for a gray from anyone. I know it's hard,
They
but
said
I'm
she's
still
working
waiting.
on it at the open house.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the gray that
I
I made from my Iceman with the black? I have the black
It was
slip.
so good.
I make black slip from Mason Stain and my dry bits of Iceman.
Mm-hmm.
I sgraffito, and then I take the bits that are left over, slake it down in water after it's bone dry, and then mix it to and it's a gray. It looks really nice.
It's
Nice.
nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I see
it's
pretty.
barely any black Mason Stain when it's in, it's kind of like a medium gray.
That was the
Yeah.
kind of thing I couldn't do until we had that second machine going. My staff was like, there's no possible way we can add anything in the middle of COVID with only one machine. So a
Yeah.
lot of got tabled. Um, I think a lot of companies spent a lot of time doing R&D during COVID, and now they're coming out with new stuff. Like Amco's got some cool new stuff. They've got
Yeah.
like new things.
Yeah.
Make cool new glazes.
Is it like a lot of those like you see people with like brightly colored porcelains, like they're working at such a small scale of quantity that they need? Like, is it just the cost of stains that just is so outrageous that like nobody would pay? I don't know if a box of clay is, normally, let's say it's like a cheap stoneware is like 45 cents a pound. Like, is
Mm-hmm.
somebody willing to pay $1.50 a pound or whatever that would be?
Yeah, and also the volume. If you make a huge volume and it sits there and it's trash, you've just lost a ton of money. So um, there's just you got to find um, the right need. You got to get people excited about it, get it out there, and then just be able to supply it consistently and have it not be hard.
Yeah.
Get out of it.
I used
So
frost for the first time this winter and wanted to shoot my eyeballs out. It's like not even at the end. Like the cups, all of my cups turned out pretty okay. But that motherfucking clay turns hard after like 10 minutes. It's like soft and then it's like, "Oh, never mind. Changed my mind. I changed my mind." Like, "Fuck you."
yeah,
Oh.
I'm a dealer, so I don't.
Yeah, you can't say anything,
Oh, I
but
thought that
I
was a
would say
Mudworks clay. I thought you were talking shit about a mower. That's a different. That rhymes with Maguna or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
That rhymes with Maguna. But Nara, I used Nara from Aardvark. That's lovely.
Yeah, it's beautiful too.
It's beautiful. That's what I've been using for my jewelry, and it's just fucking great. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah,
All right.
Fucking clay.
in clay.
On that note, Link, thank you so much for coming back on. We appreciate it. We appreciate your time, your insight, all the
Yes.
like being able to talk to somebody that's in this space that like has this expertise that we don't have. I feel like you're talking way above our heads with some of these technical questions, so it's good to have you as a resource and be willing to talk to us about it.
And I'm not obviously the be all end all. I can only speak from my experience and my little corner. I mean, there's lots of people in this industry who are floating in stratospheres far above me. But
whatever.
I appreciate asking questions, and you know, I always enjoy it. I like I very much enjoyed this industry. It's interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and for me, it doesn't hurt that you're a fellow Kentuckian too. That's nice to be able to buy from someone local that's close by, and you're
only 1997. Does that count?
You what?
You're like,
oh, that's fine. Well, I just mean that Kentucky Mudworks, like it's in the name, like it's nice to be able to say, oh, where do you get your clay? Oh, I get Kentucky Mudworks clay. I mean, I get Laguna too, but it's like, hey, like they're in Lexington, they're not far. Like, hey, you can get some good supplies and stuff that is not far, especially when you've got the clay, the glazes, and all that, all the options that somebody needs, getting going. So it's nice to be able to source things close by, and then you're also sourcing things in the U.S., which is nice. I want to support that as well. So
we love that.
Trying to do my bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So people can find you on social, Kentucky Mudworks. Do you tell people about you share on your personal page too about your soda firings and wood firings and stuff like that a little bit too?
Yeah.
What is that if they want to check that out?
Oh, my personal is Missing Link Farm or Crooked Dog Coffee on Instagram. I started a small coffee roasting company with my husband because I'm not enough.
Just another thing on that, yeah. And then the Missing Link, that also has the garlic. They can find the garlic stuff on there.
Missing Link Farm. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, Link. I appreciate it.
Are you at Are you at the end of your travels, or are you staying there, and then do you just go back to Colorado?
No, I'm headed up to Westville, Indiana, with Beal Pottery, up near. They're like 45 minutes away from Chicago. They're right near the sand dunes, so it's a little less hot up there. So, and I'll probably go up into Michigan a little bit this summer because it's beautiful. So, that's the plan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think she spent like 5 months or so in Utah at the end of 23 and into 24, and then kind of headed east. Last month.
Your freedom. I mean, I know everything is nothing is free, and it has a cost, but I think it's really cool that you're just like, I'm just gonna go. Yeah,
I've always been that kid, and there's some bad parts and there's great parts. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Next year I'd like to buy some land in Arizona maybe. They have like 5 acres for $5,000.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It's like
so
there. It's so hot.
Yeah, that's why I only go in the winter.
Do what?
I only go in the winter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but then you'd have a place that's yours that you can park. That's yours. That's cool.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah. So we'll see.
And then luckily there's friends all over the states that she can visit. And
yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
Always a place to park.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I think a lot of people get value out of this discussion, so we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you all next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. This podcast is made possible through the contributions of all of our listeners who always ask us great questions, leave us reviews, and contact with us through social media. Thanks to all the fellow makers as well who take time to be interviewed and share about their lives and businesses.
And thank you to Ashley from Boldover Ceramics and Lindy from Lindy Garner Ceramics for their assistance on the Wheel Talk podcast Instagram. You are invaluable. Thank you to everybody.